Hello everyone, I am Els aka The Witch, and if you remember a few videos ago I created myself into a sim, and today what I'm going to be doing is building a house. Well, I've already built it. I built a house for my sim to live in because I'm going to be starting a new series, as I mentioned, that I'll be narrating using my sim as the main character. So today what I'm going to be doing is talking you guys through how I built my house and the interiors, etc, etc. Before this video I asked my Instagram audience a number of questions which would determine what type of house my sim was going to live in. So the first question was, should my sim live in an apartment or in a house? And 60% of people said a house and 40% of people said an apartment. So my sim is going to be living in a house. The second question was, should my sim live by themselves or with one flatmate? And 69% of people voted for one flatmate. The introduction to the flatmate will be in episode 1 of my sim series, so watch out for that. Question 3 was the home furnishing of my house. Should it be modern or should it be classic? And 82% of people voted for modern, so that is what we've gone for. Question 4 was, should my sim start with no money whatsoever or 2,000 simoleons? And 69% of people voted for 2,000 simoleons. Therefore, when I start my series, we're going to be starting with 2,000 simoleons. Not sure why people picked that, because I personally think it would be more interesting if they had no money, but oh well, we move on. And the last question was, should my sim live in a city or the countryside? And 72% of people voted for the city. So my sim will be living in one of the city neighborhoods. Thank you to everyone on Instagram who voted in the polls. My information is down there at Els the Witch on every single social media if you want to get involved for the next one, because I will be doing this more often. But without further ado, let's take a look at the build and outcome of my sim's house in the city. Enjoy. Seeing as everyone wanted my sim to live in a city, I chose the San Fransico world, which is from the City Living Pack. It is a big sort of downtown. I think it's inspired by San Francisco because it's got the Golden Gate Bridge and stuff. This is downtown with all the big high-rise buildings. There's the artsy area over here. And finally, this is the residential area, but most of them are flats. However, for this one lot here, this is the only residential non-apartment rise flat. So what I did was I got rid of that, I bulldozed it, and I created the build that I am about to show you. So I completely bulldozed it, and then I was left over with this sort of plain landscape which overlooked the bridge. We had the view of the downtown and we also had the view of the residential area. Now, when I was thinking about inspiration for city houses, I remember playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and they had a world called San Fierro, which was also inspired by San Francisco. And I remember driving past these colourful houses. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to recreate that. So I went on Google and I found these images and I thought, these are perfect. These are the houses that I'm going to build on my lot, because I wanted them to blend in with the landscape. I didn't want them to sort of stick out like a sore thumb. I wanted it to look realistic, that I would actually be living in San Francisco in these houses. So obviously I'm only going to live in one of them, but it's quite a big lot, so I had to fill the space up with other housing options. So I started by creating the front of the 4 houses. It's ironic looking back, because at this point in the video I thought this is going to be a quick build, I'll just get it done in a few hours, you know. In reality, this build took me about 11 hours to do. This is me creating the front of those 4 houses. I'm building the green, the blue, the yellow and the white, which you can see on the image that I've put on the right hand side. I put up a poll because at this point I didn't know which house I wanted my sim to live in, because obviously I'm going to be playing one household. So I put up a poll onto my Instagram story to get my Instagram audience to vote for which house they wanted me to live in, and I'm going to reveal that obviously later on in the video. What I'm doing right now is creating the garage door, because if you look, there is a garage door on the basement level of each of those houses, and annoyingly, because the Sims does not have cars, there is no functioning garage doors. But with the Get Famous expansion pack, they put in these sort of decorative non-functioning garage doors, but they work well if you build in, so that's good. What I'm doing is this is actually a good shortcut. So if you hold down Alt whilst you're moving an object in The Sims, so hold down Alt, you can more specifically move the object, which is what I was just doing with those windows there. The way The Sims works, if you can see there, is all by grids, so little squares. So when you move objects in The Sims, it just moves by every square or every half square. If you hold down Alt, however, you can do it free will. So you can literally move objects to wherever you want if you're using the move objects cheat. So that's bb.move objects space on if you want it on, and if you want it off, you obviously do the opposite. So yeah, that's a nice two little hints for you there. What I'm doing now is I put in some trash cans, got to make it look realistic with the surroundings. So I put in some rubbish cans, trash cans, whatever you want to call them. With these houses, I think I mentioned earlier, if I didn't, just go along with it, the white house on the left and the greenhouse on the right is slightly bigger, and the reason is the staircases. So the staircases go up to the first floor, which is where the front door of these properties is. For the yellow house and the blue house, the staircase is in the middle, so it leads up. For the yellow and the green, the staircase is on the outside, which allows some more space for these houses, because as you can see here, the yellow and the green have an alleyway between them, which creates more space for the house. Fun fact. Let's just talk about the colours of these houses, because this is actual real life. People do have these houses in San Francisco, and I'm wondering who thought, you know what, I've got a green house, do you know what colour windows I want to whack on it? Red, bright red. Also, what I'm doing there is a tree. I thought, I've got to put a tree in. Well, there is a tree in the photo. I didn't just think of it myself. So I'm putting the tree that is in the photo on the right hand side, placed it on street level, there it is. Lovely little tree. What I wanted to put in next were some cars, but obviously there's no real cars in The Sims 4, annoyingly. There is toy cars though, so if you go into the kids section or just search for toys, scroll down, there's some little toy cars, and here is another little keyboard hack for you. If you use the square looking bracket, I'll put the symbol on the screen now, and click the right hand side a few times, it makes it bigger, the left hand side one makes it smaller. So I just selected a toy car, clicked the right hand side 3 or 4 times, and hey presto, we have a realistic looking car on our street, which I've just built a road for, as you can see. What I then realised was, the front of these buildings are square, and in the picture they're circular, so I had to cut off the corners of each of the buildings and made them sort of more diagonal. And then we started working on the second floor, which is what I'm doing now. Working on the second floor, the layout is more or less the same for each of these houses, and sticking in those lovely coloured windows. So we are putting in the red windows on the greenhouse, the blue windows on the blue house, and so on and so on. What I needed then to do was replicate, and this is another hack, use that button there to just copy the exact layout, basically copy and paste. Move the tree again. I think that's the last time I moved it, you'll be pleased to know. I know it's such an integral part of the build, having that one tree in the correct place, but that was the last time I moved the tree. Happy days. What I did next was put in the front doors for all of the houses, because obviously you need to get into the house. I feel like at this part of the build, it was really coming together, we have the basics of our 4 houses and they look quite good, but it all seems so fun and simple. But this next part, honestly, the roofing, took me about 2 hours. 2 hours trying to figure out how to get this roof in looking realistic, because as you can see from the picture, there's actually another floor to the house which is smaller than the floor plan of the rest of the house, and that's where the roof falls over this part of the floor. Then at the back is square, so I was trying to basically figure out, as you can see, how to get because the roofing on The Sims is free build basically, so you can just choose and kind of merge together different parts of the roofing. Right now I'm creating the triangular back side of the build, and then the slanted up bit at the back that would then connect to it, and then I had to put in the circular part of the roofing, which took me a long time. I've cut out loads of this because honestly this was perfection at its best. And then what I did was just use the copy and paste tool that I showed you earlier to get the other 4 roofings, and then whacked in some windows to the top. Happy days. It looks so easy, doesn't it? And then that's me just adding in some drainings. These are just decorative, they don't actually work, but they make the build look more realistic. So drains, and then I put in these front sort of window covers to add some character to the house. And that was sort of the front area of the house complete, finito. For the gardens, I wanted to have 4 different types of garden. I like it in cities. I think it's quite realistic when all the gardens are completely different. So here I am building the dividers between the 4 houses. In each garden I wanted a different type of outer building. So like, for example, in the yellow house there's like a shed, in the greenhouse there's a big conservatory. Here I am building it So conservatory with a glass roof. The vibe of this garden was sort of dark black exterior, sort of like a darky modern. You'll see when I start doing the furniture for it. And then I moved on to the White House. So for the White House, I wanted a really modern looking garden. Went with this roof. I was just playing about and I thought this looks nice. It's like a conservatory, but the roof extends out so you can have a covered bit if you ever want like barbecues, you want to eat outside, So this is again the greenhouse. We've gone back over here. So we're changing the terrain to be a dark, sort of overgrown-y, worn out grass looking thing. Don't really know how else to explain it, to be honest with you. In the second garden, the blue garden, I then remembered that the entrance to all of these houses is actually on the first floor and not on the basement. So I thought, I need stairs to come down into the garden from the first floor. I left the green one because I'd already finished that garden, so they can just come out through their basement. But for the blue, the yellow and the white, which you'll see in a minute, I created these staircases so that people could come down straight from whatever floor they enter on down into the garden. So the blue garden, there's a little conservatory as well. The yellow garden, we have the stairs coming down, and then we have like the outer building, which is kind of like it's a glamorized shed, I think. So there I am building. I had a mare with these staircases. I think what I went on to next was whacking some furniture in the gardens. As I said, with this garden for the greenhouse, it's like a dark black wood looking type thing. Slightly modern, not too modern, just like I think simple, elegant looking garden. There you go. Happy days. Put some plant things, the boxes to build some plants if they ever wanted to do that. In the blue house garden, felt like, it's a nice view. They could do with having a good barbecue overlooking the river in case they've got friends around, Come on guys, come around for a few drinks in the sun, whack it on the barbecue. So here I am building the barbecue. I put in some cactuses because who doesn't love like some cactuses built on concrete, because that is very unrealistic. But anyway, whacked in a few cactuses for decor, and then I put in a bench because whilst you're waiting for the sausages and burgers to cook, with your beer in your hand, you need somewhere to sit. So I got rid of that table and I put in a bench so they can sit there and have just a great time. For the yellow house, I put in a basketball court. I thought this looked kind of like a basketball court area, realistic. They might have kids that play basketball. They just might like playing basketball themselves, to be honest with you. And put some rocks in the corner. I mean, don't know why there'd be rocks there, but I put them there because to fill a space, to be honest with you. And finally, for the white garden, as I mentioned before, I was going for a modern white garden look. So here I am putting in some more cactuses to fill the space. I mean, I love the cactuses, apparently. So maybe I was just in that sort of mood. So with this garden, I was going for like a white wooden, that it reminds me of what's the Garden Force, where they used to come over and make over your garden. This kind of like a Garden Force looking garden, modern, very perfect. And I think that concludes the end of me doing the garden. Yep, this is what it looks like. So on to the results of the poll. People actually voted for the yellow house, but there was only one vote between it. So I went for the white house instead, because to be honest, I preferred it. Didn't really like the garden in the yellow one. And this one's a tiny bit bigger. So what I showed here is me just fiddling with the layouts a little bit. And I did record myself doing the interiors for the entire house. But then I thought it's already going to be quite a long video. Let me just do an actual tour of what I did at the end. So without further ado, let me show you my lovely looking house. We begin our tour from the street level. I feel like I'm an estate agent. I'm doing this from my Sims view so that it looks like a first person glance at the house. So this is the basement. So you come in through the ground floor, you come into this sort of waiting area. It's not even a waiting area, it's just like a space that I didn't really know what to do with. So I stuck in a sofa and an orchid and a painting to make it look artsy. There's a view through to the back. So if we're having a party or like a barbecue, the guests don't even need to go up to the main house. They can just stroll out straight to the barbecue in the garden area. And this used to be the garage, but I transformed it into my gaming studio. So this is actually like my setup that I have at home, kind of without that massive light. And here I have a seating area so I can take more videos if I wanted to have people over to game with me. We can sit in the seating area and game from there. Big mirror, spacious. That little white thing on the floor near the mirror is actually a drone. We have a big studio lighting just to light up the whole studio. I'm obsessed with this room and I actually want it in real life, and now I'm just stuck in my little flat in London without it. Stuck in a toilet as well. Obviously, if we're going to have people over, they have to be able to go to the toilet if they need to on the ground floor without disturbing my peace upstairs. So here's like a little toilet on the ground floor. Swerve back round. Those stairs go up to the first floor, which is the main entrance of the house. But before that, I'm just going to take you back out to the garden, which we have seen, but I wanted to show you how the stairs would flow up to the house. So obviously this is the garden, happy days, we've already seen that. I put in a nice mirror so that you can have the reflection of the Golden Gate Bridge whilst you're sat on the table. I don't know how I would have afforded this house in real life. I'm still yet to make that story up, but it will be in episode 1 of the series that I'll be doing, so watch out for that. So here are the other stairs. They would come down from the first floor, which is the, as I keep saying, the main entrance to the house. I'm just trying to reiterate it. But what I want to do is come through the front door because I think it's more realistic. So here we are going up the stairs, over the trash can apparently, up the stairs and into the front door of the house, up into the main room. So the first room is the kitchen. There's some shoe racks, kitchen area. Put a nice little bottle rack because we're bougie. We just want to show off all the alcohol bottles that we have. This is the kitchen. I went for a very modern feel. Love it. I'm obsessed with this kitchen. And then I thought I need some color in here, so I chose orange. Love the artwork that goes with it. Orange cabinets, white cabinets. It's just, yeah, I'm really happy with how the kitchen went. Also, if you get motion sickness, I apologize for this tutorial because even when I was doing it, I got a bit of motion sickness. So here's me just taking you through to see when you're doing the dishes, look at this view. Obviously, those are the stairs down to the garden, as I keep saying. But when you're doing the dishes, you've got a view of the sea and a really lush bridge. Like, what more can you not love? Back through here, we have another bathroom / toilet. It's just a toilet. I use the same decorating scheme because I quite like having consistency with my bathrooms. Don't know about you, but there we go. Another orchid. Love the orchid. Back through into the kitchen and through this lovely archway. I wanted it all to be open plan, so it's no doors in this bit, except for obviously in the bathroom. Back through the archway, we have the living room area. Really annoying that I forgot to put a piece of artwork on the right hand side there, but I will obviously fix that. And this area I wasn't sure what to do with, so I've just left it for now and I will build into that when we start the game. Also the banisters, very health and safety issue there. But anyway, this is the living room. Very nice, modern, big TV screen. We've got games console there. I really like this living room. Don't know how comfy that sofa would be though. We haven't really gone for comfort in this house, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, I love that. Love the orange colour scheme. Adding a little bit of turquoisey blue into it. I should be an interior designer. That's the moral of the story. Obviously health and safety there again. Anyone could fall down those stairs, so I will need to fix that. And back up into the final floor of the house. This is the floor where the bedrooms are. There is another floor up, if you remember, on the ceiling, but I haven't bothered to build into that yet. Maybe I'll do it in future, but for now, we've just got 2 bedrooms. This is the main bathroom in the house. This is for public use. It has a shower, nice view of downtown San Francisco / San Fransico. We've got a lovely bath if you want the view of the city whilst you're cleaning yourself, a shower here, mirror, toilet, shelves, which I need to put some stuff on, but yeah, that is the bathroom, same sort of colour scheme as the rest of the toilets in the house. And back through here, we go into what would be called the master bedroom, but the other one has a little added factor which makes them both even. This is very sort of princessy, like girly, which will all be revealed, the reason why, because obviously I asked my Instagram audience whether my Sims should live on their own or with a flatmate, and you guys picked, well, they picked flatmate, so in the first episode, I'm going to be introducing my flatmate, but this will be her bedroom, nice and princessy, pink themed, and through here she has an ensuite, so she just got a bath, didn't put a shower in it, forgot. There isn't actually enough room, so if she wants a shower, she's going to have to use the main room. But anyway, same scheme, bathroom, going back into the main room, and this is my Sims room, which no one hates this room more than I do. I think I messed up the layout, so I couldn't actually fit a double bed in, unless it's against the wall, which means only my Sim can sleep in this bed. No other Sim will be able to sleep in it, which basically is representative of my real life, I'm a loner, so that's what we learned from that. Through here, we have a walk-in wardrobe, which is the added spin. Who doesn't love a walk-in wardrobe for all my clothes? And yeah, that was the walk-in wardrobe. That concludes the tour, I believe, of this flat. Loving all the details of the folded up clothes. And I put a bottle rack in my room. I don't know why. It's really pretentious and I don't know why I did it, but it's there. And this is just the floor plan, the layout of the top floor. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a walk-in wardrobe. On the middle floor, obviously we have the open plan, kitchen, living room and a toilet. And finally on the bottom, we have my YouTube studio, an open plan area, bathroom, and then leading out into the garden. Happy days. And there's obviously that space in the top, which we might build onto later. And there we have it. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share it with everyone that you know. I would much appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to finally starting this series that I have been talking about for a very long time. So please watch out for episode 1 of my Sims series. It's yet to be given a name, but I might be doing that on Instagram. So make sure you follow me on Instagram and everything else. And yeah, I will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.